I have 7 Vim key mappings that'll change your life. Some of them are quite simple, but you'll notice that they make your life so much better. They will virtually, figuratively, literally make sure that 2021 is amazing. Let's start with the first one. Now, you want to save some keystrokes. This is one that you may have seen out in the wild on Reddit or elsewhere, but it's truly amazing. Now, you have to enter command mode a lot to do everything. And so you have to hit shift and then the key that has the semicolon and the colon on it in order to get colon. Now you have no other reason to use the semicolon in normal mode or visual mode. Seems like not a big deal, but it's a huge game changer when you're trying to crank out something. It really does make a difference. So I'll just quickly show you that just by hitting the colon semicolon key, I get the colon. It doesn't seem like much not having to hit shift, but when you're ready with your left hand on your home row and you want to type something out, you don't have to bother with trying to hit the shift on either side. You certainly don't want to hit the shift with your right hand, so it really does make a difference. You'd be surprised just how much it speeds things up. Seems like nothing, but seriously, try it for a week and you'll see. All right, so the next one is paste the last thing you yanked, not deleted. So you know that when you hit P, you get the last thing that was yanked or deleted. That, can be frustrating. You might yank something, you're like, great, it's yanked, and now you go and you delete something, and now you want to paste something, and when you go and you paste, it actually is what you deleted, and that's not what you want. Now you don't want to take away regular Vim functionality because you might just want that. So comma P and uppercase P for putting it above work really well. Yeah, you can type out quote 0p if you want to do that, but I don't have time for that. Comma P works really well, so I'll show you that one. I'm using the Neovim README file here. I'm going to copy this row here. Okay, now I'm going to go down and delete this here. Now, if I just do Shift P, I get documentation back what I just deleted. Well, wait a minute. I wanted what I yanked, not what I just deleted. So if I do comma Shift P, hey, that's what I yanked. Okay, and then same with here. If I just do P, there's documentation, but if I do comma P, there is what you'll find in as last yanked. So that comes in very handy. I mean, obviously you don't need to use comma P, but it makes sense to kind of stick with, that you want P. And you can see how this works here with the 0 register there, and that keeps what you last yanked until you yank something else. So that's nice. So next up, let's see. Vim surround maps. Yeah. Okay, well actually I'm only showing you one. Now this does require that you have Tim Pope's Vim Surround installed. Now you could get this done another way. And this is just an example of something that you can do. Now, if you work in Markdown a lot and you have inline code snippets, you're forever writing stuff out and then realizing later that you want that to be a inline code snippet. Now, of course, you can just go and delete what it is, put in the backtick, And if you have auto pairs, then it'll put both in. You can put it in there. But I can't tell you the number of times that I've typed something out and said, you know what, I actually want to format that as code. And of course, you can always type out, YSIW backtick, but leader backtick. So let me show you. So we'll find something here we'll just say the word build here. For some reason, that's code. So leader backtick, there we go. And now it's going to be formatted as code. So that's a really nice one. This is a huge one for me. I write a lot of GitHub issues in Neovim, and I'm forever in Markdown. I also write all my notes in Markdown. This is just a big one for me. Now, this is move between, and I say Vimdos. Now you'll find that people are always talking about, okay, you have to do Control W, Control J, Control W, whatever. And Control W is, proper Vim usage. If you want to be idiomatic, arrow keys are something that you are often encouraged not to use in Vim, and that's true for moving around, but these are keys on your keyboard and you can make good use of them. Now, in order to be idiomatic Vim, you'll see a lot of people remap Control W J to Control W Control J and Control W Control K. So there's still a Control W and then a J. So, or there's still a Control W and a K. So you've saved having to hit Control. Well, I can tell you that in, I don't know how many years now that I've had these mappings in place of just mapping up, down, left, and right to Control W, up, down, left, and right. I've never once run into a snag where I thought, oh, I wish I had my up, down, left, or right back. Never once. Now, I know that the rest of the Windows commands are Control W, Control whatever, and by leaving Control W off, I'm sort of breaking the Vim language, but it is so convenient and so easy that it's just great. So I'll show you what I mean. So let me open up a vertical split here. All right, and then we'll open up all right, now check this out. Why on earth would I not want to just use my arrows? Now, also I'm on an Advantage 2 from Kinesis, so my left and right are over on the left side and my up and down are on the right side. But and so maybe your arrow keys aren't as conveniently located, but it's really nice and a lot better than saying Control W, Control J, or even Control W, J, or whatever. I just use my arrow keys and I'm fine with it. I understand that that's a violation of idiomatic Vim, but hey, it's all good. And yeah, the rest of the Windows commands are Control W and whatever you want. And so, hey, I think that you're capable of remembering that. And so I have faith in you. But hey, use those arrow keys for good. I've never once run into a problem with that. All right. So the next one is delete to escape from almost all things. Now, I use the delete on my Kinesis Advantage 2 for escape because it's my left thumb and it's very convenient, and I don't use delete for anything else in any mode ever. So you can see here that if I want to get out of insert mode, command mode, all the modes, I can do that. And so, terminal, any of them, delete works. And so anywhere I am, I hit delete, I get out. There are a few exceptions that you run into here and there. Next up is just leader W for up, and up is for update. Now, the thing is, in order to save in Vim, you'll do :W, and that's fine. Now, you saw in my mapping that it's leader W because that's a nice, easy sequence for me. I use the default leader key and W, and that is my right. Now, you'll see that I'm using up, and that's short for update. And the reason for that is update will only write if you've actually made changes. So observe the message at the bottom. So here I'm going to save because I have made changes since we started this. And you'll see the file has been written. Now, I'll poke around here a little bit more. And, just out of habit, you might hit your save. And when I do, you just see up down in the status bar. And that's because there was nothing to write. You might say, well, big deal. Why would you want this? And I really think it should be just the default. Think about the metadata of your file. You have last modified or last updated. When you write like this, that will change that to whatever time it is when you do the write. Maybe you don't want that because maybe you're doing a search for a file that you wrote at a certain time, or you're trying to figure something out like that. Well, when you just do a random write like that, you're updating that metadata about that file. So if there are no changes, it doesn't write. If there are changes, then it will write. And so I recommend just using up or update rather than W all the time. There's no real good reason I can think of not to. And if you really want to write, then you can just force it with an exclamation point. And there you go. So you can get around it if you really have to, but I don't know why you would. And that one's a nice one. All right, so now finally, if you want to look up your mappings, you might have a ton of them. There might be mappings from plugins, and there are all the built-in ones, and you want to know how to find them and figure out what's writing what, or you don't want to necessarily dig through your vimrc or your init vim or init lua, then you can just take a look at them. So if I go down here and I just say nmap, I'll get all my nmaps, you see, and I can just go down and look at them all and see what everything is. See, there's quite a few here. All right. And it's the same for VMap. There they all are. And so, it's nice, and you can go through and take a look at that. That's 7 Vim tips that will change your life. So you have a way to look up your maps, which is just nmap or vmap or imap or whatever you want to do. You can write only if something is changed by using up or update. You can map whatever key you like to use for escape to get out of just about every mode. You can map your arrow keys to move from window to window. It's just great. Then, if you have Vim Surround installed, and you should, then set up a mapping, leader, or maybe you just want it for markdown files. You can set it in your local leader for markdown. And so, for instance, if I go here and I say markdown, you can set something up with local leader. So you can see here, I have local leader RN to rename. I want that in Markdown because leader RN rename for me when I'm in coding files is something different. Then you have paste the last thing yanked, and I have that set to comma P and comma uppercase P, which go along with P and uppercase P. And this way, if you yank something, then delete something, and then you want to paste, you'll get the last thing that you yanked, not the last thing you deleted. Very convenient. And this remapping of semicolon to colon is awesome. It just makes typing feel so much better. You want to go down and do your command, you just hit that key and you can go for it. It's really great. So I highly recommend that. Those are 7 key mappings to change your life. And best of luck with Vim and Neovim in 2021. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and watch out for more content because it's coming.